All right, we're back. We are MAPD724 in the winter 2019 semester, and it's week 8, part 2 of our broadcasts. We're still talking about location services. All right, very cool. Oh, one thing we didn't check is can you guys hear me? It looks like you can, so I'm pretty good. I didn't use my speaker, my microphone. I use a better mic normally, but hey, let's see how it turns out. Yeah. So where we last left off, if I look at our application here, when we run it, we can see that we built we put in an item in the P list that basically tells us if our app is authorized. Notice that when we did it once, it's done. Our app is there, and because we've authorized it, it's authorized. That's it. You never have to ask for it again. So sometimes what happens is when we do this, you know, depending on what we want, we may have to ask for authorization multiple times, right? For now, though, we're okay. And we're right here. That's where we're at. So notice this is what we want. We want to have this background screen come up where we have location service come up, a bit of a map. But we can't see the map yet because we haven't included it, but we will. Next, we want to add this function. Now, here's where we start typing stuff out, where we want to use the location manager, the implementation of the location manager in viewcontroller.swift. Again, location manager is something that we want to access based on the delegate information. So if I go back to here, you can see that we've included the location manager delegate, and then we'll have access to the location manager down in here. Now notice that there is no override, but we're going to kind of do a func, and we're going to say lowercase location manager. And if you notice, there's a bunch of different options, right? So what we want is location manager. With location manager, we're going to get a reference to location manager itself. And then did change authorization is what we're looking at. And then when when they change authorization, then we want to do some stuff, which we're going to do in a second. I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see this a little better. So it's this one. So did change authorization status. And again, if I start typing, and if you notice, like it says, if you notice here, did start managing, and if I look down, if I scroll down, I want to find stuff that we want to use, right? So it says there's some beacons, and there's region state, and here's the one we want. Notice that one? Did change authorization status. Authorization status. If I double click it, it gives me everything I need. Again, this works a little better. One thing I like about this is it takes care of this for me. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to print authorization status change to whatever it's going to be, the raw value where it says status, the status that I'm getting from my app, from my method, and whatever the raw value of that status is. So print, and again, authorization changed, like it says, status changed. So status changed to, and we want to say this slash, remember we kind of do information status dot, and then it's the raw value. Raw value. Now the reason why I'm not getting it is because I don't have another quotation mark, which will give us this. And then we want to use a switch case. We want to switch the status. I like putting I'm the old school guy. I use C and C++ and C#. And although Swift tells you don't need brackets, I like using them anyway. And once we've got our switch status, we want to say that the case for authorize always or authorize when in use, we want to do something. So case authorize always, and then authorize when in use, both those options, right? Both those cases. What we want to do with that is we're going to say that the location manager start updating location. Location manager start updating location. We talked about this, right? Once we start putting in start updating location, what happens? Why is this? It's good, but remember we talked about this being, well, it could be bad, right? Here's a default case. What happens in the default case? We want to say in default, then we want to stop updating location. So location manager, stop updating location, right? And we want to put this in because both start updating location and stop updating location, they're used to start and stop the service that we're going to use, right? Because if we remember on start updating location, what we're going to get is polling. We're going to keep polling. We're going to use up the battery. It's going to drain the battery. We want to be able to stop it at some point as well. And this is all based on status. So when the status is authorized always or authorized when in use, we're going to get this. And then, but by default, we're not going to do it if it's some other status. Okay? So that's what this thing does for us. Next. Let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Okay, so again, if your application tries to use location services when it doesn't have permission to do so, you have an error and all this kind of stuff happens. You're going to get this, did fail. We're going to kind of put together this did fail with error thing. So we're going to use another implementation, right, where we're going to use another one that says did fail with error, and we have to capture the errors. This is kind of like error handling for the location manager. Again, we're using the same function, but a different signature, right? So again, going back here, we're going to say func location manager, right? And then when we open it up, what we want is the one that handles errors, right? So notice it says, you're still going to get a reference to the location manager itself. And then it says, did fail with errors, what we want, right? So did fail with error, this one. Okay, did fail with error. And you get something called an NS error. In this case, it's just an error, right? Now, here's something that's interesting. In the past, it was an NS error, but now, of course, we're using the latest version of Swift, so it's converted. By the way, the book that I took this from, written by the same people, Molly Mastery, that wrote the first book that we used. This was 2018. So even after that, we still got different changes in our code, okay, which we're gonna have to fix. Now it says let error type is equal to the error itself dot code, right? And then we're gonna use this ternary operator, right? So where error code is equal to CL error denied raw value, we're gonna say access denied. Otherwise, we're gonna say whatever the error is. That's the error type. So we're gonna say that depending on the error type, we're going to make it equal to the error.code, right? And now this is interesting. See how error didn't come up? Error dot, and then it says localized description, right? I want to show this to you because what happens is we would expect that error.code is true. But just to show you that because error is of type error, not NS error, it's going to be slightly different. And we're going to have to fix this problem. Okay, so if I said error.code, notice I don't have an option for error.code. And then it's equal to CL error. And it's the CL error dot denied raw value. So CL error dot denied dot raw value. If that's the case, then what we want to say, that's what the question mark is, we want to say access denied. Otherwise, that's what the colon means, right? And again, this is review for you guys. We want to have the error and the error code interpolated, right? So again, we want to say that we want to return error, spell properly, and then error.code. I want to interpolate that, but notice that I'm not getting blue values. And the reason for that is because error.code does not compute. Where it's looking for, it says did fail with error, and in our original code, did fail with error is of type NS error, not error. And hopefully there's a fix for this. And it says, hey, replace code with code. This. And let's see if that works. Well, that worked. And let's say if this works, because that's what we want. And that would be really pretty silly if we asked for that code value, right? there's again, we're getting an error that says initializing of immutable value error type was never used. Consider replacing this with a 2 and removing it. No, we're not going to do that. Not yet, because we're going to use this in a second. Okay, cool. So we've got this part. It looks like we've got a fix for our problem. And then let alert controller, we're going to use a UI alert controller. Now remember what this is. We did this probably very briefly in the first half of the semester. An alert controller is a pop-up that comes up on your app. Pretty ugly. Stops operation of the app. And it's a modal dialog box that comes up, which means you can't continue the operation of your app. Your app will stop functioning until you press OK. That's what's going to happen. Really bad. Any alert is really, really bad. So let's do that. So we're going to say that the alert controller is going to be a type new UI alert controller. We're going to make a new alert controller, and we're going to pass in the title, the style, and the handler, if we have anything, right? So again, we have some options: title, style, and the handler, right? And it looks like this is probably the closest thing we're going to get in our new version. Yay, there we go. Title, and the title is going to be the title we want, which is going to be OK, right? There's my title, my style. Okay, now this is interesting because it says action sheet. We want alert. That's what we want. Definitely want alert. And the message, right, which is there's no message, right? So title, OK, style. We say cancel style, but guess what? Oh, wait, we not do things. Why am I looking at the wrong thing? Message error. Yeah, let's go back. I'll be okay. What happens when you copy paste? Yeah, so UI alert location is what I want. Sorry. So I'm just going to do that one more time. Location. That's the type. That's the title of the actual box itself. The message is going to be in here, which is, error type. That's the message, and this is the location error. Location manager error. That'll be okay. And here in the preferred style, which is this one, .alert. I was right the first time on that one. .alert. Yay. So that's the alert controller. That creates the alert controller, and then we're going to use our alert action to do what we want to do afterwards. Okay, so now, that's right. Alert action is equal to a new alert, UI alert action, UI alerts action. We're going to pass in, and this is good, we're going to pass in the title, which is OK. Oh boy. And the alert style, which is going to be cancel. And our handler, which is going to be an object that's as action in. Okay, so we're going to kind of do one of these. And we're going to say action in, right? That's all we're going to do there. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to take that alert controller and we're going to add an action, the OK action, alert controller. Add action. We want this OK action to be added in. We don't have this yet, but we're going to add that in. We don't have it. We're going to add it in. And then we're going to present the alert controller. Did I miss it somehow? OK action, alert action. What did I do wrong? I'll be okay. This should be called OK action. There we go. Now it should kind of work. There we go. I'll be okay. Yay. And I can't even read these days now. All right, and then we're going to present the alert controller, right? We're going to present the alert controller and the alert controller, which is animated, which is true. And we're also going to say that on completion, we want to do nothing. That's what that does. Yay. And that should complete our location manager error controller. Okay, those two functions. So you guys should be able to see that in the video. And again, if I was to run this thing right now, it doesn't do anything. But I'd like to run and build on a frequent basis because what it does is if I come up with a location error, I want to see it. So here's an example of location manager error, error 0. I'm going to press OK. And what it says here, let's just take a look here. It says authorization status changed to 4, right? Simulator user has requested new graphics quality of 100, right? So that's what the error I got just now. I just got an error, right, from my option. Did you guys get the same error? Yes? No? Maybe? Let's try that again. Look. I come up with this, and then it says, bam, location manager error, error 0, right? Okay, so that's what it says. And down here it says, the user has requested new graphics quality, but then I have my authorization status changed to 4. And that means that I came in here, right? I have a status, and then when I come in here, it shows me my status, and in case it's always authorized always or authorized when in use, I'm going to get my start updating location, but instead I got something else, and that made me stop updating. Okay, so that's what I'm at right now. Cool, that's good. So it kind of works. The pop-up totally works. Next slide. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so now that we've dealt with getting permission from the user, let's do something with that information. We're going to insert this implementation of the delegates location manager did update locations method in the viewcontroller.swift. Now it's massive. I've shared this with you online. So if you actually look on your on eCentral, it's actually there. I'm going to slog it through and type it in. You don't have to, right? Again, it's location manager, and we're going to use this location manager did update locations with an array of locations that we're going to take in. Okay, so did update locations. So again, it's another function for the location manager. And we want to did update locations. So we're going to look at did update locations like this. This is the first part of the code. This is the header or the signature of the code. And then what we want in here is we want to say if new location is equal to locations.last with an open curly brace. We're going to talk about this again. If let. What's the difference between if and if let? You know what that means? Well, it's not if let. It's if let new location, right? Is equal to locations.last. Then do something. And you can see that it goes quite a ways, and it goes into the next screen here, right? So that's, it ends pretty much. So when I open it up, I open this curly brace up, it kind of goes down until it gets to about here, right? Actually, until it gets to about here. There's quite a bit of code. Again, I'm going to slog it through and get it done. Okay, so we're going to let the latitude string is equal to a new string format. This is interesting because what this is going to do is it's going to take the latitude string where we're going to get the new location.coordinate.latitude, and we're going to make up a string. And then we're going to get this latitude label, which we made, .text, and we're going to add in the latitude string. Let's try this out. So we're going to say that let latitude string. We're going to build up our string, and we're going to format it. So we're going to say it's of type string, and string types have a format, which we can access. And let's just take a look and see what this says. So it says %G, and I want to talk about this in a second, /U, and then curly brace 00B0. What the heck is this thing that we've just made? And then new location coordinate latitude. And so what it does is it takes it and formats it so that it has a there's two parts of it, right? And what this does is it formats it so that it kind of works. So this is kind of cool. So it's like this is initially immutable. Can I use it? I want to fix it. I don't want to. Because then immediately what it's going to do is going to take the latitude label.text and fill it in. So again, latitude. So this is like self.latitude label, right? And I want to put this in here because I know that I probably made it a little different than the than what's in the book. Dot text is equal to this latitude string, right? So I want to kind of put that. So this should really do it. As soon as my latitude manager updates locations, we should get an update for the latitude string. That's what it's supposed to do. And if I update this right now with one thing, it's not going to do much. We'll still get that same error. You're going to see that pops up. See, it pops up there, and I got nothing. Why? Because it says that authorization status changed to 4. Did you guys get that still too? Are you with me? I'm going too fast. Okay. But notice that that's a problem, right? Because it's basically what it's saying is, hey, it did change authorization status. I changed it. And by the way, one thing to note is if I go to the app itself, so this is the app, and if I was to run it, I still get the same problem, right? Every time I run the app, in fact, right, I'm going to get that same problem. So if I run it again right now, you're going to see that, hey, I get this problem, right? And what about if I remove the app? What's going to happen here? So here's I'm removing the app, yay, and then run it again, installs the app, and then it says, do I want to allow everything I want to allow? And then we get this error. So we know that we allowed it. That's the first thing we did. We allowed the app, right? And again, it was some other status. And if you want to see what the status is, the raw value is 4, right? So it's going to give us this, stop updating location. That's what it's going to do, right? So this part right here updates our latitude label, and it's going to be copied over and over again. If you look back down here, you can see that the next one is going to be longitude string with the longitude label, and the longitude is going to be here. So let's just copy paste this part. Do this, and we're going to be doing in there, right? And this instead of latitude string, it's going to be longitude string, and instead of latitude label, it's going to be longitude label. So longitude label. Text is equal to this longitude string. And this one is going to be longitude instead of latitude. And then this should be the same. There we go. So that's pretty cool. And if you notice, the format's the same. Okay, and now we need a horizontal accuracy with a horizontal accuracy label with slightly different format. All right. So let's just copy paste. So put that in there, and it says, again, horizontal accuracy string. Pretty long. Not really happy with this. And it says that the horizontal accuracy label is the one we're going to use. So we know that this is the same thing. So horizontal accuracy label. I want to take this horizontal accuracy string and copy it in there. And we need to change this to just a G. That's what it says we want in there, right? GM, sorry. In meters. And what I also want is, if you notice, it says new location.horizontal accuracy as opposed to coordinate, right? So there we go. Okay, so that's done. Now let's do the same thing, but for the next one, which is going to be probably altitude string. There we go, altitude string, sure. Or maybe vertical accuracy probably would have been good. But we'll just do the altitude string, so sure. Altitude string. Again, you can see that it's new location altitude. Altitude, sure. And then the altitude label, capital A. And we'll take this altitude string and populate it in there. And then it's still GM, meters. Good? I mean, it's just a bunch of copy pastes. It looks like a lot, but I'm not actually typing anything anymore. Next. All right, and vertical accuracy, of course. So we're going to take this one because it's closer. So it has the word accuracy in there. And we're going to go back in here, paste that in there. We're going to say vertical accuracy. And again, it's going to be, instead of horizontal accuracy, it's going to be vertical accuracy. Sure. And this is going to be the right string. And we're going to make this the vertical accuracy label. Done. All right, so we got all the labels done. Cool. And we're going to say, well, okay, now, if my new horizontal accuracy is less than 0, it's some kind of invalid accuracy. We're just going to return. Whenever we do a return, we avoid doing anything else. We don't return anything back in this case at all. So we're going to say that if, again, new location horizontal accuracy, if, put this in brackets, new location dot horizontal accuracy is less than 0, then we have some kind of error. We're just going to return. Okay. We don't really have, it's not really a valid accuracy. However, if our horizontal accuracy is greater than 100 and or our new location vertical accuracy is greater than 50, then this is too large. We also want to return. So new location accuracy is greater than 100. And by the way, again, I know that Swift is telling you not to use so many brackets because it makes it more complex looking. But actually for me, again, I'm a really old school kind of dude, and I like to use extra brackets because it makes me feel more comfortable, not because it's required by Swift in any way. Right? So again, now it says C location has no value horizontal. Yeah, horizontal accuracy is what I put in there. Okay, cool. So that's it. So there's these two. Did I just kill the other one? I did. I totally did. I can't believe you guys let me do it too. So here. What happened there? How did I do that? How did you guys let me do it? Less than 0. Get rid of all this. And we can get rid of one of these. Okay. It should be 2, not 1. There we go. If you're just watching, I just erased it. What happens when we go back and forth? All right, next one is, what about if previous point is equal to nil? We don't care about that too. So if, again, previous point, right, is equal to nil, so we don't have a previous point, so that means then we want the total movement distance is equal to 0. Total movement distance is equal to 0. However, else if, we're at the next one. If something else, we want to print the movement distance. So we want to, if it's not nil, we want to print the movement distance plus we want to concatenate slash new location distance from previous point. New location dot distance. What I should do is do one of these, right? And that way it'll help me code everything. So from, and then it's previous point. Right, so what I want to do, and I got to put in an exclamation mark in there. Here we go, that'll all work. And then I can say that I've added that in, and that is part of my interpolation, right? That's what I've done. Then I want to say that new point, so this is this part, so total movement distance, right, is equal to, or plus equal to new location distance, plus equals to, we'll talk about this in a second, new location dot distance, and then, like it says, from previous point. From previous point. What is this doing? Why are we doing this? So we're saying basically, okay, if my previous point, remember I had a bunch of points. Whenever I do location distance, it returns an array of locations, right? That's what it does. And why we need an array of location? Because if the object in this case is moving around, if the object is moving around, then what I want to do is I want to I get an array of points, and I want to have my total movement distance from the original, from my previous point. But I can't do my total movement distance if my previous point was 0, if it was nothing. So if it's nothing, then I get my total movement distance I calculated at 0. However, if there is a previous point, I want to calculate it. And this is where we're doing something like this, where previous point is explicitly unwrapped. Okay, cool. So that's this. All right, and that covers us up to here. But now, outside of these little brackets, we're going to say that previous point, right? We're going to take that in is equal to our new location. So we're going to actually store it, and then we're going to let the distance string. We're going to do this all string stuff again. You know what? I might as well, since I already have this stuff already covered, I'm just going to take one of these because it's going to be almost the same down here. So instead of this string, it's going to be distance string. So we'll call this distance string. And it's a string of GM in meters. Total movement distance is what we want in there. That's what we want to print out. So that's what we're going to format. Total movement distance. There it is. And then what we want is this distance traveled label.text is equal to that. So distance traveled label. Distance traveled label.text is equal to this distance string. We formatted it nicely. So I know it looked like a lot, but actually a lot of it was copy and paste, right? That's all we did, and we just modified the things we had to modify. Let's just check through it and make sure it's good. Latitude string, latitude and longitude, horizontal accuracy, altitude string with altitude, vertical accuracy with vertical accuracy, and we make a couple of checks if there's invalid data. So check if we have invalid data, some kind of invalid horizontal accuracy or altitude or something weird, right? Did I make this proper? I think I missed something. Let's just go back. That's why I check these things. If you're greater than 100, not greater than 0, that would be really messed up, right? I mean, it always will return, never return anything. Yeah, and we're good. So we check through it. It's a long kind of pull, and that's why I check through it, because I want to make sure that I don't have any issues. All right, so what do we have to done? But it'd be nice if we could visualize the travel time on the map, and then we have MapKit, and we're going to extend our application later on, is what this is saying. Okay. And the way to do that is we can use MapKit in our view controller.swip, but guess what? We've already imported it, right? And what we can do is we can drag a map view into the library to do this. But let's see, first of all, do we get anything happening right now? Because before we're getting that weird error, right? So you're still getting this weird location error. Are you guys getting location error as well? Guys? Forum, are we getting the location error? So I may have done something inaccurate, right? So, because we shouldn't be getting that anymore. We should actually see the stuff that we want to see here in our location manager, right? We actually should see some data in here. You're getting it? Interesting. Let's continue, and let's see, we'll fix it after. So what this is doing is basically saying, hey, we want to drag a map view and put it into the editor, and then we're going to arrange send to back. And this is what's going to make the editor go back. So what does a map view look like? We've never done this before. So again, we're going to go to Xcode. We're going to open up this part. We're going to go to the main storyboard. And what we're going to do here is, I'm just going to pull out. So I'm going to zoom out here. And I'm going to go into this, and we're going to get a map view. Here's MapKit view. And we're going to pull this whole MapKit view into our scene. Now we're going to zoom back in. And we want to fill our scene with the MapKit. So we're going to kind of do one of these and modify the thing so it goes up here. You could modify it so it goes further, like way up to the top, so it takes up that space, that little. But beware, when you do that, you're going to have areas of the map that are not viewable because of the little cutout. And just make it so that it goes all the way down to the bottom too. Why not? So there's going to be areas of the map that are rounded off and cut off, right? Just FYI if you do this. And what you want to do is, like it says here, I want to go to my editor and then arrange, send to back. So I'm going to go editor, arrange, send to back. And what this does is it puts our little label in front and our MapKit view in the back. That's what it does. Okay. I went to the editor menu up here. That's what I did. Editor. So after I got my MapKit view, I went to my editor, and then I went to arrange, and then sent to back. Save. Now, even if I run this now, you're still going to see a problem. You're still going to see that same error. However, you're going to see this. See a grid? This is what you should be seeing right now. You should always see a map coming up, which is kind of cool, right? The map is inaccurate, but look what you can do. You can actually like pull it around, and it gives you a map of the world, right? That's the first thing it does, right? Which is kind of cool. I can't really do anything in terms of scrolling. However, from a hardware perspective, again, what I can do is I can simulate double touches. Do you guys remember how to do that with the Option key? So where you can kind of zoom in, right? Like this is built-in stuff. I've done nothing. Like there's no code here. I just go to the Great Lakes, and here's Toronto, and this is right in our simulation. Not giving me a location yet, but what it can do, because we're in Toronto, is it can simulate what it looks like right down to this map level. If I can do this right. Is that the 401? That is. There's the DVP. Let's see if we can get to Centennial. Where we are, which is that's University of Toronto Scarborough, and there's Markham Road. Let's put this stuff right in here, and let's sure. Pull this down here a little bit. Markham Road, and there's Woburn, there's Lawrence, and let's see if we can get close to our school by me using the. There it is. There's Centennial. Oh, that was dreadfully painful. Right here. There we are. So you can see that even with no functionality, really, this thing actually has a map built into it, and it has a map of the entire world already kind of planned, which is kind of cool. Then you can see how this one's going to look when we actually get data. It's going to have some data here, but you know, we want the map to be in there too. So pretty cool. All right, let's continue. So yeah, we did this. We went did the send to back thing, and then we're going to go in here. And then what it says is the map view is built as a view part on the MVC model. And one thing we missed, remember from before, because if we went up there, we need a reference, right? We need a reference, an outlet for the map view, which we do not have. If we don't have an outlet, we can't access the map. We can't update the map, right? So we need that update now before we continue. So if I want to go back to Xcode, we have our map view, but I'm going to bring up our little helper, our assistant. I'm going to go back up to the top here. And what I want to do is I want to pull over just underneath this IB outlet for distance traveled label. I want to pull in my map view from here. So I'm going to control click and bring in my map view underneath here. It's going to say map view. And again, just to stick with our convention, I'm just going to teleport us back up near the top where we start talking about what our application is going to look like. And we have MapKit, but we want to make this, call this map view, which is an MK map view, right? That's what we want. So we're going to call this, I've called everything capitals. I'm going to keep the same thing. So we're going to call this map view. We're going to connect it. Okay, so we have this. Without this, then any further code we're going to do is going to not work, which is bad. All right, and yeah, let's go back down to where we were. So we were somewhere down in. Cool. All right. So yeah, what we need, what this is basically saying, this slide here, 41, is it says that we need to use model view controller, which means we need a map model and a model object, right? And in order for us to do that, what we want to do is we want to create this thing called a place. And the place is actually going to zero in on our location and give us X and Y coordinates, or latitude and longitude in this case, right? So we can output it to the map. So we need to create a new object. So going back here, I'm going to just shut this down. I'm going to open this one up. And in here, I'm going to make a brand new file. And they want us to make a Cocoa Touch class, which we're going to call place, right? And it's going to go with, it's going to be a MapKit, if I'm not wrong. MapKit, subclass of NS objects. There you go. So place, subclass of NS object. And place.swift is what we want, right? Swift language. Next. And we're going to save it, place.swift inside of our applications. Great. There it is, place.swift. We have our UI kit. We can get rid of all this stuff. And we're going to use this class. We're going to get UI kit, but we also want to import MapKit. And what we want to do here is we want to use this as an annotation. So we're going to say that we're also going to do the MapKit annotation. This is going to give us a little arrow. Annotations are arrows, or like a little pin that drops in the map, so we can see what it looks like. And it says it doesn't conform to stuff. And then do you want to add the protocol stuff? We can by clicking fix, which does this coordinate, right? And then it has no initializers. We need to initialize this. So let's just do this in there. So notice we need a title and a subtitle. Let's do that too. So let title, oops, be of type string. And let subtitle also be of type string. And our initializer is okay as location coordinate 2D. Next, the next page needs this one initializer. And here, for the first time, we see, oh my God, the culprit, Objective C. So we're actually using an Objective C initializer, right? So we put this decorator, this at Objective C, at Objective C. And we're going to say that we're going to use the initializer for the Objective C class, which is title, which is type string, and subtitle, which is also of type string, and coordinate. Love the code hinting I'm getting, which is none. And CL location, this one. And once we've got that, we also want to location and coordinate 2D. What are we missing? Coordinate 2D. That's going to be wrong. All right, and then we want to do this, which is going to be, we're going to go self.title is equal to title. We're going to fill this in, and then self.subtitle is going to be equal to subtitle. And then we're going to do self.coordinate is going to be equal to coordinate. And that's it. Oh. So what does this thing do? What the heck is this all about? And what did I do wrong? Subtitle, coordinate 2D, CL location. What did we do? Expected a separator. Use of undeclared type coordinator 2D. That is a mistake. That's what it is. Let me just make sure that I can get this without. Sometimes what I like to do is I want to see if I can do this, and it's, yeah, see, it won't give us any initialization. Look at that. And no completions. And that kind of sucks. We're going to have to look at this. We're going to have to look this up because this coordinate 2D seems to be causing a problem because I saw it. I was like, something's not right there because we're missing something over here. So I'm going to have to go back and fix this problem. I'm going to fix a couple problems, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to stop the video, fix the problems, come back, and tell you what I fixed, because we're going to waste time looking for, for what the fixes are for this one. So self.title, because this seems to be an issue. Coordinates is a problem, but only because of this. And if I was to take this away, if I'm not wrong, that does not satisfy requirements, because coordinate is a CL location. Oh, I know why. It's 1. That's so funny. CL location 2D, coordinate 2D, this one. That is so funny, guys. That's why it's like this. It's just a split in the line. That'll fix it. I'll be okay. All right, cool. So that is our model class. A model class for each of the places that we're going to get. We're going to pass in an object of type place into our new for each location. Are we good? You guys got this? That's what it looks like. That is so funny that they split across 2 lines in the book. Yay. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. All right, so now we're going to be in our view controller.swift, and we're going to add 2 bold lines down in here, which is in these cases. Notice there's a status, and we want to say that the map view.show user location is equal to true, and if it's the other status, then map view.show user location is equal to false. So that is inside of our view controller.swift. And unfortunately, we don't have our cases working right now, but we'll figure out why this is happening. I'm just going to check this out and make sure that it's good. CL authorization status. Did change authorization. Yeah, it's the same. There's nothing different here. Switch status is equal to this. And authorized always and authorized when in use. Yeah, it looks right. Start updating location, which we're never going to do. And we're just going to map view.show user location. Map view.show user location is equal to true. But otherwise, anything else happens, we're going to not show user location. That's going to be equal to false. Excellent. Right? That's a little check we did. And that's what was changed here in this slide. We only have a few more slides to go, and then we're going to go back and fix our problem. We'll go through the code. All right. So what this does is when the user is authorized, we're going to just show our map location. But what we also want to do is inside here, we're going to, and this is inside of our location manager did update locations method. We're going to add in the map view add annotations start. And we're going to add in this new annotation area, right? Because we need to add all this stuff in here. And this is inside of if previous point is equal to nil. So again, that's if previous point is equal to nil, which is down in here. If previous point is equal to nil, then total movement distance is 0. But then we don't stop there. We say that's cool. However, we want to let start place. So let start is equal to a place, a new place. And we just made a new place, which is this, where we have our title string, which is start point, our subtitle string, which is this is where we started. This is where we started. And our coordinates are a new location.coordinate. New location.coordinate. Good. So that's this part. That's pretty much here. Then we're going to say the map view dot add annotation. And the annotation is going to be a type of annotation, which we're just going to call this start, which is what we made. We made an annotation here because guess what? When we made our place class, here's our place class. This is of type MK annotation. It conforms to the annotation protocol, right? And what this is doing in viewController.swift is it's expecting an annotation type when we add an annotation. So start has to be of type MK annotation, which is what this returns. Excellent. So that's this part. Now it's this is new. This is the region. So let region, and this region basically is regional information. MK coordinate region make with distance. MK coordinate region make with distance. Let me see if I can do that better. Nope. Love it when things change, right? MK coordinate region make with distance dot. Isn't that interesting? MK coordinate distance coordinate region. Region is equivalent to coordinate region make with distance. So we don't have that anymore. So let's see if I can fix that up. So if I just type it as is, maybe it'll give me an update. Make with distance. Maybe it'll give me a fix. New location dot coordinate. Sometimes it's just Swift does that. It's pretty good now. And let's see if it actually does it if I skip away. Like if it gives me an error, and then it asks me to change stuff around, right? Because sometimes I want to fix it. It says replace has been replaced by this, right? Region init, and then this. Okay, yeah, fix it. Sure, I'm good. I definitely want this kind of stuff, this functionality, guys. I do not want to figure out what I need to use here. That's for sure, right? Center, new location is coordinate, and then latitude meters is 100, and longitude meters is 100. Good. Next, we went into the else. This didn't change much here. New location, that distance, previous distance. I think that's all the same. It's just this part that changed. Yep. All right, so that takes care of the code there. And enable your application to use MapKit. Otherwise, it won't work. So now let's go up to use MapKit. Maybe that's why it's not authorized. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that would be really bad. So I totally messed that up. So again, I want to go up here and use MapKit. And that would be up here under General, Capabilities. And MapKit's on, man. MapKit's on. Maps. Maps is on. You link MapKit framework. It says that's pretty cool. Steps. Where am I target? Select where am I target at the top of the editor. Select capabilities. Locate map section. Move the selection switch to the right from off to on. That's what I did. But doesn't that include all this stuff? Let's just get rid of some of this for now. And we'll definitely do this part. So I've done everything. This is turned on. And then I think that should do it. But we're still going to get that little error. But that's okay because we're going to fix it in a second. That's good. Okay, so again, with MapKit, we still got that problem. It's the same error that we got back down here. Authorization status changed to 4, right? 4.0. We're getting that error too, right? Right? Oh, you are. So what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What? I may have typed something wrong. I'm going to go through the code in a second. Okay, let's take a look. If you're getting it, that's a good thing, huh? Yeah, we're going to look through it. We're going to look through it in a second. So I'm going to make sure that I finish the PowerPoint and then go back and fix it. So that's it, and everything we should get is this, what it should look like, build and run. So let's go back, and it's not a lot of code really if you think about this. That's what it's basically saying. Go back to the app, first coordinates. latitude and longitude. All right, so we did this part, C location manager delegate, which we did this. So let's just go back to that. I'm just reviewing my code here to make sure that it's correct. And I just want to make sure that this is good so you can see the results of my code. Because I skipped some parts, UI, kit, core, location, MapKit we put in. We also want to use the C location manager delegate, which is what we put in here. And then after we've got that in, let's make sure that this is all good. Location manager is equal to a new location manager. Previous point is C location. And then total movement distance is a new object of type location distance of 0. And then we did all of our labels. This is all good, right? Similar to what we did before. And then we're into the view did load. Again, I'm just going through it. This is what I would do if I had an example code that wasn't working. And I'm probably sure it's something really silly that I missed. But hey, let's put the view did load. So this is probably in the view did load, because that's something where we may have messed up here. So location manager delegate is equal to self. Desired accuracy is equal to location accuracy best. And request when in use authorization is good. And then we have our did change authorization. Okay, let's take a look at that. Make sure that's cool. Info plist. I wonder if that's where the problem is. Did change authorization. Here it is. Did change authorization. Status see all authorized status. Yes, we did all this stuff. Switch status. Authorize always. Authorize when in use. And location manager stop using location. That is really, really strange. Pretty sure I did everything correct. Well, let's do something else. Let's test this thing. Let's suppose we got a weird authorization. We know it's an authorization issue because we're getting an error. So it means it must be in our info.plist somewhere, right? So we have our required device capabilities, and let's make sure that I didn't add anything weird in here. So we got our launch screen interface. That's what we have in here. And make sure that I have all of our info stuff done well. So that would be really weird if we had some kind of resource capabilities. So we have capabilities. Nothing's been added in here. Must be in this file right here, document types. App uses your location. Here it is. This is it right here. That's what we got here. Privacy location when in use. Privacy location when in use. Privacy media library usage. Microphone usage. These are all the privacy options, all the privacy notifications that we're going to get. We just called location when in use. Location usage. Location always usage. And what's this one? When in use, always, and always in use. I want to see this bigger. Location always and when in use usage. So app uses location. Let's try this out. See what that does differently. I'm wondering if it's my plist is different than yours. It's interesting. It didn't ask me for this at all, and yet it gave me an error. What does it say here? It says access private sensitive data without a usage description. The app's info.plist must contain an NS location when in use usage description key. NS location when in use usage with a string value explaining the key value. Form, come over here. Let me see what you did differently than me. Paste. When in use. That's what it does. It translates into this. Location when in use, usage description. So if I run this now, it'll give me that error, right? So otherwise it won't run. Allow. Location error 0. Well, this is neat. Change to 0, change to 4. Run it again. No, change to 4. What is 4? Maybe it's another status. View controller Swift. And that is, okay, so let's suppose that's default. Even the default will start locating, okay? Let's just change this to this. So everything will show me my location. How about that? And let's see what that does. Let's see, I want to see what it gives me. Yeah, so I don't have it, and then I don't get anything here because it gives me an error. So it doesn't matter what I do here. It's just give me some kind of error with status, where my did authorize status changed to 0. Form, come. Let me take a look at your code. Because yours works. Does yours work, Elena? So I want to see what my friend Form did differently. I'm going to stop recording this, and what I'll do is I'll post the solution on GitHub. But otherwise, this is your code for location services guys. Thank you.